In this video, we will show you how to configure the Bluetooth menu within SiteMetrix Grade. If this is a new build and a new data collector, make sure to go to Equipment Setup and tell it what type of receiver that you have connected. To do that, go to Menu, Equipment Setup. If it's grayed out, you just need to go into Admin mode. So you go down here to the user icon, check on Admin, and you'll have access to Equipment Setup. Click on Equipment Setup. Just make sure Supervisor is highlighted, this portion right here. And then go next. The type of receiver, you want to tell it it's a C631. And then next, and finish. Once this is done, we can move on to the Bluetooth connection. And towards the middle of your screen here, you'll see there's a Bluetooth icon with a line through it. Just click on that. We'll start off by telling it we're going to have a base. To do this, we'll just type in the name as base. You can type anything in here, but you'd want to at least type something in that makes sense. So if you have a customer with more than, let's say, one Basin Rover, you can give them Basin Rover number 1, Basin Rover number 2, or if they want specific unit numbers, you can do that as well. It's up to you what you type in here. If you want to make it as simple as possible, just call one base and one Rover. The receiver type is a C631. The mode is what the receiver is going to switch to when you connect to it. We'd want to switch this to base as well. Our connection type is going to be Bluetooth. Now I just have to search for my receivers. So if I hit the search bar, and I'll give it a minute, and it should populate the serial numbers of my receivers that I have powered on here. It stopped searching, so now I just drop down the list, and I pick which one I want to associate to a base or Rover. So I'll pick the one ending in 3007 to be my base. Once I'm done, I just tell it to add, and now we'll do the Rover. So I'll give it a name as Rover, and again, you can name it whatever you want, but just try and make it as simple as possible for your customers. The receiver type again will be a 631, but when I connect to it, I want it to be a Rover mode and not base mode, so we'll just switch that. And again, the connection will be Bluetooth. I will switch to my Rover, which would be ending in 4005. And I'll add that. So now that I have them configured, I'll close out and then show you what the user would see once they use this menu. Usually start off in the morning configuring a base, so I'll start there. I'll just tell it I'm going to want to connect to the base receiver, and I'll just tell it to connect. Once it's connected, you'll see an icon that changes. There's a Bluetooth icon, and now with the letter B. And now I'll switch to a Rover. So I'll have to disconnect from the base, and then switch to the Rover, and now I'll connect. Now that I'm connected as a Rover, again, the icon will change. It'll be the Bluetooth icon, and now it shows the letter R as I'm connected to the Rover. So this will just make it easier for your customer to switch back and forth from base and Rover. And then larger customers that have multiple different base and Rovers, they can keep them configured, and you won't have to remember the device ID. And the final thing that I would do is use a label maker and create labels for each one that you configured, giving them both this name like the image shows here.